Hello, everyone. Welcome to Ed Talk TV, Conversations Worth Having. I'm your host, Ed Troxel, and I'm the tech-savvy business strategist who helps overwhelmed business owners get organized and overcome their tech challenges. And if you need anything from me, you can find it in the comments. edtroxel.com is my website. And on this show, we talk about business, tech, and the user experience. So if this is your first time joining, get ready to hang out with us and to engage. That's the big one. Engage, yes. And if you want, you can share this out, tag your friends, all of that good stuff. But really comment, even if you're watching the replay, super important. Not only for me, but also for others who are going to check out the replay. We get a lot of live viewers, but I always want to make sure that I talk to my replay viewers because, let's face it, we're all busy and we can't show up every day at 4 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. I get it. It's good. A lot of you guys will watch this on the replay. A lot of will watch it on the weekend, all that stuff. Speaking of the weekend, it's almost here. Yeah, I know it's only Tuesday, but I feel like it's almost here. But if you haven't, you still have time. If you haven't got on my newsletter, that's basically all I do is the newsletter. Well, let me back up and say, that's not all I do. You guys know, for those who follow me, I do way more than that. But what I want you to do today after this show is sign up for my newsletter. It's free. I send out one email a week that comes out on Fridays that covers basically what I've done the whole week, including all of the Ed Talk TV episodes, tips, tricks, all of that stuff. And that's how you can stay in connection with me. Yes, you can like and follow my page. Yes, you can follow me on social media, which is great. Go ahead and do that. But that's not like a direct connection, which is why I want you on the email list. Also, I don't talk about it a whole lot, but when you join my newsletter, you actually get basically a 7-day training of business. Like, we get to know each other. I ask you some questions. You get to respond. I give you a free template to work with and help you out with your business too. So I don't really advertise that, but there you go. Kind of a little surprise there. Not so much anymore, right? So anyway, today what we're going to talk about is the 3 simple steps that you can do for creating your next product or service. Some of them you might already be doing. Some maybe you just needed to hear it again. And before we do that, we're going to jump into random news. I will mention that, and I've told you guys this before for those who have followed me for a long time, that Ed Talk TV has been awesome, and I love being able to show up here every day, Monday through Friday, and connect with you guys. And we haven't really tested different times or different formats. And I've been working on my social media strategy and marketing plan, basically. It's over here on the side, which is why I looked over there. And just know that there are going to be some changes that we will play with, and we'll see. Not just for Ed Talk TV, but me across the board with social, just because it's time to make some adjustments, and it's going to be fun to test things out. And let's face it, fall is bringing on a lot of good things, so we're really excited about that. So stay tuned to that. Like I said, join the email list and you'll be good to go. So let's talk about random news. We're just going to have one today, and then we'll pop into the comment. It's going to be almost a super quick episode, I'm pretty sure, because I know you guys got things to do, and I want to make these a little bit shorter for all of us. So let me go ahead and share my screen, because it is fall does bring up this, what I'm going to show you. It does bring this up, and it's one of those times of the year, which I can't believe we're already there. Pretty much, let's just face it, summer's gone and already all the fall stuff is out. But take a look at this. Let me go ahead and share my screen. Hocus Pocus. Like, somebody posted this earlier today, and I thought, 25 years ago this came out? You got to be kidding me. I remember being a kid watching this, and I'm like, wow, 25 years. Hocus Pocus, and it's just such a classic. So it's really interesting how one movie like this and many others that we've seen, right, that it can last throughout time. That was one movie, and something about it caught our attention. Now, I wasn't planning on having this as anything that we were going to talk fully on, because I didn't go through and research Hocus Pocus and like kind of what maybe stands out for people and all that. But this is just how my brain works, so we'll run with it. You think about a movie dedicated to a certain time of year, so Halloween, and you think about how this was made, and it was made 25 years ago, and yet we're still talking about it today. People still want to watch it. And so when you find things like this, you kind of want to ask yourself why. Like, what makes it stand out? And maybe you know what makes it stand out for you if you've ever watched it. So let me know, of course, in the comments, even if you're watching the replay. I'd love to hear it. I can't tell you really what stands out for me because I haven't watched it in a very long time. So I wouldn't be able to be a good judge of character there. But it's one of those things that you do want to pause and think about, okay, what does this mean? Like, what made this stand out? Because it's lasted throughout time. And it doesn't have to be just this movie. Like, it could be any movie, any TV show, any product, you guys. I mean, I don't think I have anything right here that's like super, super old, sadly. But, you know, like you think about, I don't know, a certain type, this is totally random, but I'm thinking kitchen. You think about a sponge, you know, and how that same sponge maybe is exactly the same. It's a rectangle with, you know, the same blue that you used 20 years ago. I mean, whatever it may be, but like, why do you still buy it? Why do you still check it out? Why is it still relevant? Those are things that you want to ask yourself and think about for any product or service for that matter too. So hopefully that makes sense, and to share that with you there. Let me go back over here. The glare, well, it's not glare for you guys, but the light is strong today because we have overcast, a little bit of blue, so we'll run with it. But let's jump into 3 things that you can do to create your next product or service. So number 1, of course, is one of my very, very favorites, and it's really determining your, hey Sally, welcome. It's really determining your interests. Like, what's the interest for whatever it is you want to sell? So whether you're thinking about creating a product or a service, you have to ask yourself, like, what's the interest here? And it's not just asking yourself, but it's doing the research. Research is key, right? You know I talk about that all the time for those who follow me. Research is key. That's part of showing up, right? You have to show up and you have to do your research before you can deliver that information. And it's huge when it comes to business, and especially if you're starting something new, whether it's a new business, a new product, a new service. Like, you have to understand, what is it that people want? Not what you think they want, not what you want, not what you wish you had, but what do they want? Because it's all about them, remember? Because that's the target audience that you're running with, that you're going for, not you. So the first one is determine if there is an interest in what you're selling. Sorry, I'm like looking down at my notes because I'll be honest with you guys. So I had this planned, but I literally, up until 4 minutes before our showtime, I was working on this, updating my blog post from yesterday, which, you guys, if you go back and look at it, you're going to be super impressed with the text. Yes, I added text. I added an actual written blog post to yesterday's Facebook Live, which is on my website, that covers mostly what we talked about, but then I added some extras in there. Now, I won't go into it. I won't talk any more about that. I'll just let you look for that, you know, and take a look at it. And if you go check it out, leave me a comment on the blog because I'm curious what your thoughts are. I will be honest right now. I did not go back and reread the entire blog post that I wrote because I had 4 minutes before showtime and I said, forget it. I'm just going to update it and call it a day because I couldn't save it as a draft. So there's that disclaimer there. So number 1 is determining if there is an interest in what you're selling. That's what you want to make sure to do. Number 2, ask your audience. I'm always saying, ask and listen. That's the important part, right? Like, you can go ahead and ask the questions, but if you don't listen to what your audience is telling you, then there's really no point in even asking. Because if you're not going to listen, then you have nothing. Like, you shouldn't be doing whatever you want to do. Because if you listen to what they're saying, that's where you're going to get your marketing messages. That's where you're going to understand what their needs are, what they really want, what you can do to make your product or service better. So you have to ask and you have to listen. That's a big one. So number 2, ask your audience what they want. Now, number 3, create the content and tie it into action. So create the content that you can tie into whatever it is you're making. So, for instance, you've done your research, in step number 1, right? You've done your research. Step number 2, you're asking your audience and you're listening to them. And then step number 3, you're actually going to take that information and create content with it. And you're going to tie it into action, meaning a call to action. So an example would be this show, right? I have created this show, Ed Talk TV, because I want to go live on Facebook, but it's not just about me. I want to be able to share my knowledge with whoever wants to tune in and listen, right? So you're watching me, even if you're on the replay, and you're learning for free, which is fine, right? This is like my freebie, if you will. Then I have a call to action. Most of the time I have several. I know it's confusing. But the main call to action would be join the Hey Ed community, because what you learn here is taken to a whole nother level inside my membership community. So my whole goal is to provide more support for those who want it and who need it. Now, I may not clearly communicate that through every broadcast, right? But I try to have an ad at the end of this episode, each episode, that kind of directs that and shares that information. So then that way those who tune in and they're like, this was awesome. I can't believe I got this for free. Then they're like, I want more. Well, you can have more and you should have more, but you have to go here first, right? So you're tying that into an action. Another easy way to do that is your email opt-ins, right? You're signing up, you want people to sign up for your email list. Well, what are you going to do to get them to do that? You're going to share information on your blog, on your social media profiles, and then you're going to have the call to action be sign up for my email list in order to get X, Y, Z. So it's really being able to tie in some kind of action versus just dropping everything out. Like I can share all my blog posts, I can share all my videos, but if I don't have a call to action, then it's like, well, what are people supposed to do? Because we naturally, same with these videos, we naturally consume, but then we have to be reminded to take action. Like I tell you, comment, even if you're watching the replay. Let me know. Say hello. Say I'm here, just like Sally did. You want to make sure that your presence is known because, one, it helps me know that you're here. Two, it helps you stand out from the crowd. Your profile is now visible. Your name, your image, people can figure out who you are, see what you do, and then be able to connect with your business. And for those who are new and maybe don't know this, or those who don't remember this, I repurpose all of these broadcasts on my blog. These comments carry over to my blog. You guys, I don't know if you know how powerful this is. So each time you comment here on Facebook, even if you're watching the replay, this gets put over on my blog and shows up as comments there. Now here's the cool part, and this is what's in it for me, for you guys, okay? When you search your name on Google, you can find me in the search results, meaning if you comment on any of my episodes, that gets put on my blog, indexed by Google, and can show up, and does show up, in Google searches. Now, it may not be on the first page of Google every time, but we did a live broadcast showing that probably a few months back, and I think we had it on the first and the second page. I don't think it went past the third page. So it's still pretty relevant when you Google search your name, which is super cool, especially for those of you guys who are what? Just getting started. If you're just getting started, what better way to get your name out there than to be tied to somebody who's already out there, right? That's the whole point of this. And now, I don't want you to just comment here on these lives. I mean, this is great, of course. But if you like what I put out into the world, then do the same thing on the blog, on anybody's blog. The more you comment, that's why I always say the magic happens in the comments. The more you comment, especially on blog posts, because I'll tell you right now, some of you are going to be like, well, that's super cool, Ed. I didn't know that the Facebook post can carry over to your blog and the comments. Listen, I got a special system set up. That's not going to happen for the average user or, the everyday user. That is why it's important for you to go to somebody's blog and comment on their blog post, not their Facebook post. Yes, that's nice and that's helpful on Facebook, but if you really want to help that person out, you need to copy and paste that same comment over on their blog. Yes, it's going to take you an extra 30 seconds to do that, but trust me, it's worth it for both parties. Remember, teamwork equals success here. And if you can take that extra 30 seconds and copy and paste your comment on Facebook and go to their direct link and post it there, trust me, it's going to benefit both of you. You're going to be helping them out. They're going to be honored that somebody actually went to their blog and read their blog post and left a comment. Then you're going to be able to show up in Google to be able to see that you interact with people. It's just like when you think about just solely Facebook, let's say, and you share a post. The minute somebody comments on that post, your rankings kind of go up, okay? It helps your post get higher up in the newsfeed. The more comments, which is a conversation, the better. And so think of that same thing happening on your website, your blog. Remember, it works in both directions. You just have to redirect yourself. Remind yourself, yes, I'm going to comment on this Facebook post. This was awesome. You did a great job. Love it. Blah, blah, blah. Done. But then pause and say, oh, let me help them out. Let me go to their website and drop the comment there. Now, you can write a fresh comment. Don't get me wrong. Having a fresh comment is always good. But at the very least, copy and paste what you had and share it in both places. I'll ask people to do the same thing when it comes to reviews. Here's another great example. When you guys write a review for me, you can write one here on Facebook if you're watching me on the page. You can write one on there, directly there. And I've built that up quite a bit, which is nice. Now I'm also building up my Google reviews. Yeah, my business is on Google, and if you Google me, you can actually see it and write a review. So I've even asked people who have written a review in either place, Facebook or Google, if they wouldn't mind sharing that on the other platform. So for instance, if you wrote me a Facebook review, awesome, thank you, I appreciate it. Then I would ask you if you wouldn't mind posting that on Google as well. Why? Because the two don't talk to each other in that sense. Your review on Facebook doesn't carry over to my Google, and Google doesn't carry over to the Facebook. Yet they're both very important platforms to be a part of and to have credibility on, right? So having that social presence from somebody else sharing like, yes, this guy is legit. Yes, this guy is good. Learn from him. Buy from him. Whatever. Like having those reviews in both places helps tremendously. And I'm sharing what I have set up, but this is something that you probably have set up or will have set up. And it's showing you what's possible if you just make these tweaks, just minor tweaks here and there. And remind yourself that, okay, if I'm doing something here, hey, Mickey, welcome. If I'm doing something here, I can go ahead and do it here. And Mickey is a great example too, because she's done that for me before. She's written a Google review for me and has also written one on my Facebook page. And it's simple. Like, you can copy and paste, or you can write two separate ones. It doesn't matter. But just keep that in mind that whether it's a review or a Facebook post or a blog post, like the comments, and I'm going to consider a review a comment, the comments are huge, no matter where you're at online. And that's the way that you're going to build your business. That's the way you're going to get noticed. That's how you're going to help other people get noticed. And the more active you are in the comments across the board, the better. And that's how you're going to show up in search results, by just being active. You know, it's kind of like, we'll use another Facebook example here. It's kind of like you guys with Facebook groups. How many of you guys are a part of a Facebook group? Let me know, even if you're watching the replay. Now, if you're a part of a Facebook group, chances are you're in a few groups. And why, right? You're in them for different reasons. Some you're in networking, some you're just there for support to ask questions. It doesn't matter. But you're in these different groups, and sometimes you want to post something that's relevant to all the groups. So you kind of have to manually go in, because you don't want to spam them, but you have to manually go in and copy and paste almost what you were going to ask or what you were going to say. You know, you might have found a great quote and you want to share it with people in group A, but you're also like, oh, but people in group B would really love this. So you're going to post in both groups. It's the same thing. Same thing with the comments. Post it where it needs to go, and if you can, help them out on their website. You know, social's great, and we get so caught up in that because that's where we spend a lot of our time, but we forget it's not our platform. Things are always changing, and it's not necessarily tied to that individual, to that business. Yes, we have business pages. Yes, we have the reviews and stuff, but still, it's on somebody else's platform. So that way, if we can have it on Facebook, Google, our website, there's a little trail there, right? We're not relying on just one platform. We have a few different ones. And it helps us all show up, deliver, and engage with each other. So think about that. Let me know, even if you're watching the replay, what your thoughts are on this. I hope that was helpful. Do a quick recap on the 3 simple steps to creating your next product or service. 1, determine if there is an interest in what you're selling, so you have to research. 2, ask your audience what they want. Ask and listen. And 3, create the content and tie it into some kind of action. What do you want them to do? So those are the things that I want you to think about. Let me know any of your feedback. Like I said, there's going to be some changes coming up. I got my nice marketing board over here that I was working on earlier today. So across the board for business is going to be some great things coming for fall, and especially for my membership community, Hey Ed, we have some exciting stuff coming. So stay tuned. Follow the page if you haven't done so already. But, you know, like I said, join that newsletter if you're not there already. So I'm going to leave you guys with this, and I will see you back here, same time, same place, tomorrow. Take care. Stop letting tech hold you back and join Hey Ed today.